Welcome back to Mariners Down Under. It is your positive look at the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. No matter the result, no matter what happens, we are 100% behind this team. Today, we're going to recap the year that was for the big league club. It was a year of records, a year of highs, and ultimately one that ended in heartbreak for us. And hopefully, as cliche as this sounds, it is just the beginning of something really special for this franchise. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the ALCS. Going to briefly touch on some of the ways in which this team can go from here and also let you know what our show schedule will look like over the off-season because Mariners baseball, hey, it never stops. I'm also going to announce the winner of our signed and authenticated Julio Rodriguez jersey giveaway. We're also giving away another signed and authenticated jersey. This time, it is a Logan Gilbert. So you're going to want to stick around for that. We are, of course, your home and number one place for Mariners prospects as well. And today's no different. We're going to be joined by Mariners prospect and one of the good guys in this sport in Curtis Washington Jr. So, unfortunately, it is with a heavy heart. But as always, let's get into it. So the dream run is over. And they say don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. But it's a little bit hard to smile right now. I know this fan base is hurting. You truly have to be a Mariners fan to understand what's really happened and what we're all really going through right now. This isn't just another game or one of those situations where you go, you know what, we're just going to have another crack at it next year, blokes. This really feels like a heartbreak. The series was an emotional roller coaster that is going to take some serious unpacking, and that's what today's episode is designed to be. We head into game one. We win. The fan base, we're up and about. We're up 1-0. Things are rolling. Game two, we're daring to dream. It's the red-hot Blue Jays. They couldn't not get on base. Like, they torched the Yankees. They were hot as could be, and we kept them to 4 runs while scoring 13 of our own over the first 2 games. And go up 2-0 in their house, a house where they were just exceptional all season. So we then head into 3 home games in T-Mobile Park. We're up 2-0. We're in the driver's seat. Surely we can win one of the first 2 games, right? Make it 3-0, 3-1, however you want to make it, and we're flying. But then the Jays come alive. It's 8 hits off 8 errors from George Kirby. It's a 13-4 Toronto win. But that's okay. I never expected to sweep them anyway. We'll bounce back. We'll get them next game. Nope. 5 hits, 3 errors off Castillo in 2.1 innings. It's 11 Blue Jays hits. The series is tied at 2-2. Game 5, it's the biggest win in franchise history. We go up 3-2. We're back dreaming. We took both games in their house early. We're up 3-2. There's 2 potential games left. We just need 1 win. Surely the baseball gods cannot be this unkind to a fan base. But they were. Logan Gilbert. Exceptional pitcher, exceptional man. But against this lineup, this matchup of Logan Gilbert versus the Toronto Blue Jays, it does not work. It was shown, and it was shown too well. And we did not help ourselves early in Game 6, especially in the field. Eugenio Suarez nearly gave me a conniption early. But that's just so Mariners. Make us go to 7 games, eke it out, get every inch out of it, and just exhaust us emotionally, have us sitting on the edge of our seats. And then Game 7 happens, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still processing it, and that's why I didn't want to rush out. Nothing against any of the other Mariners podcasts that got something out early. It just wasn't in me to do that. I needed to try and digest everything, and to be honest, I'm still not really sure what happened. I do know that right now, I am in denial. In my mind, the Mariners play again in a few days in my head. And I'm going to keep riding the high of this season that had so many things go well. But the reality, guys, is that the ride's over and I genuinely can't help but feel sad. So we can blame whoever, we can blame whatever, but all of that doesn't matter now. Do you run Kirby out for another inning? There's a huge risk that comes with the third go-round, but his last 2 innings really didn't look bad. Do you let Wu do more and trust him? To start that last inning that he had, I mean, he didn't do himself any favours, but Yeah, he had made Springer look silly, I think, already in that game. And I think from memory, he'd already struck out Vladdy as well. Like, do you trust Wu, who's been, your guy all season? And do you let him cook? And I mean, do you then flip that and go, well, how big was his injury? Like, did that cost us a World Series berth? Bizzardo coming into the game. Statistically, he had the best strand rate on the team. He was actually 8th best in all of baseball. There was an 85% chance that we leave blokes on base with him. I see what Dan was trying to do, but he had pitched 2 full innings the night before, and it was also the top of the lineup coming up. And that's a big ask of Bizzardo. Like, he was absolutely flogged all year. Munoz was rested. He was available, and he hadn't pitched since Friday. If I'm managing that team, I'm going down with my ship and I'm riding my best reliever. And if Munoz fails, well, you know what? Like, just bad luck. Like, I played my best hand. My best hand wasn't good enough at the time, and I can kind of live with that. I will admit I've been worried at times with Munoz this postseason, and geez, even sometimes this year. Like, there's games where that slider just doesn't slide. But if the slider's on, then it's away and it's cause and buggery for Springer compared to Bizzardo's go-to, which kind of like zips in on him, you know what I mean? And we saw with the Blue Jays in Game 5, like that 8th inning, Little comes in, Cal's batting, and the rest is history, right? You have to play your best hand, otherwise bad things can happen. And again, statistically, I know it made sense, but I just feel like I could live with a Munoz failure in that situation just a little bit easier. And there was a great stat that I saw. So even though he had the 8th best strand rate, the tools needed to create the strands that are used. Typically, players with a strand rate have an extreme ground ball and strikeout percentage, right? Bizzardo for the year, the stat that I saw was 37.6 and 26.2%, which is not on par with everybody else on that strand list as well. So it's a bit of that whole thing we talk about here all the time of you can show me the numbers, you can show me the rankings, but the eye test, like the eye test is always, always going to win out for me. I just wish we had used Munoz, and that's no slight on Bizzardo. Like, the man gave it his all. He pitched so well all year. He was a hidden gem. Like, we got so much more out of his role than we originally thought. The man's human. I'm never going to hold anything against him. And I really hope that as a person, he is okay. Like, I wish there was some way of reaching out and just giving him a hug and going, mate, like, we don't blame you. Like, it happens, right? Sometimes you shoot your best shot and it doesn't land, and that's just life. So not that he would ever listen, but Edward Bizzardo, like, mate, we love you. We thank you for everything that you've done, and, it happens. Like, there's no ill will. It's sport, right? It's baseball. On top of the loss, I can't help but feel like we also missed an opportunity given Cal's incredible season. I'm not saying Cal Raleigh is going to turn into Colton Wong next year. What I'm saying is I don't think he's going to have another year exactly like he had this year. This was an anomaly. This was a historical year, a year for the books. I feel like we missed out on that. I've seen some people get vulnerable on social media or on podcasts, and there's replies like, it's just a game or it's just a team. But for some of us, it's more than that. For me, the Mariners have been a pillar all year. Every year with them in my life has had a different meaning or purpose. And in 2025, they came up big for me. To be vulnerable myself, this year's been really, really hard on a personal level. When things got bad, and they've got bad, opening day wasn't far away. I grabbed onto that. I hung on to that. On opening day, I remember it vividly. I was sitting at the kitchen table. I was watching the game on my laptop. I felt alive. Even when I would listen to the games because over here in Australia, like, most of the games are during our working day. If they're playing in Seattle, it's during the middle of my day. If they're playing on the East Coast, like, I might have to wake up at 4 a.m. Like, it's not, it's not good all the time. But that you would hear Rick Riz, you would hear Gary Hill Jr., you would hear Aaron Goldsmith, you would hear these voices. And it injected an energy into me. During the player introductions on opening day, I was getting goosebumps as my favourite players were introduced. And then when my good mate Justin Novak was called out, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Baseball's back. Let's get into it. And as the season wore on, they became a daily distraction for me. Well, like win, lose, there's no draw. That's what we say in Australia, win, lose, or draw, but it's definitely win or lose in baseball. The Mariners were there for me. I could take my mind off the world. I could focus on baseball. Life was good. And then there were the 2 trips that I had to Seattle this year. The first, I'd been back to Seattle. I'd been to Seattle like way back in the day. I'd been to the ballpark, but this was at a different time in my life where I didn't know baseball, didn't love the team. Very different to who I am now. I remember flying into SeaTac, getting my Uber, and seeing the stadium. And that feeling that I got was indescribable. So the first time I stayed at the Silver Cloud, which is right next to the stadium, my room looked right out into the field. There's a big picture of Julio Rodriguez, and the other part of the view looks straight into the field. I was so overcome with emotion at that time, not only because of the year that I'd had, but because like I was at T-Mobile Park. Like I was there. I remember I got there super early because that's who I am. Yeah, you're coming from around the world, like you have to be there early. I remember walking around the stadium and I remember taking in the sights and the sounds, and I found a level of peace in my life that I hadn't felt in a long time. And the only thing that was missing in that moment was my daughter. If my daughter had have been there, that would have been one of the greatest moments of my life. But I found a level of peace walking around T-Mobile Park that I wish I could just kind of put in a bottle and keep with me. That trip, the boys did lose both games, but I got to see Cal hit a home run in this historical season with my own eyes. I got to see friends. I got to catch up with some of the players that I know. And I remember getting to my seat and I remember looking around and I felt like I was home. I remember looking up at the sign that says, "Welcome to T-Mobile Park." And I was like, thank you. Like, thanks for the welcome and thanks for existing for me. The second trip was much the same. It brought me joy. It brought me a level of good vibes that I was missing and I was needing. There's the excitement of the playoffs. When we clinched, there was a video of everybody outside of the stadium singing along to Mr. Brightside, which is like my favorite song of all time. And I have never wanted to be anywhere so much in my life than in that moment when I saw that video. I sat during Game 7 of the ALCS. I had an international flight in a cart ready to go, and I had a ticket to Dodger Stadium ready to press pay on. And yeah, I was going to be working a lot of overtime to pay for that. I'll give you the hot tick. World Series tickets are just the biggest ripoff ever. But as soon as George Springer made contact, like I knew what was happening. I knew what was happening. I just closed the windows, and it hurt. And now the season is over. Like, I do really feel lost. My daughter, the Mariners, that's what keeps me going. And I am devastated that we lost Game 7. We deserved to go to the World Series. As a fan base, we deserve that. We've suffered long enough. And people can say, yeah, but, look at the Cubs and the Red Sox, and they've had to wait for long periods at different times, right? And yes, that is absolutely true. But they've had success in the past, right? They've been there. You have a conversation with them and you can be like, yeah, you suck. And they'll be like, yeah, but you've never been to the World Series. And you kind of have to sit back and go, got me there, didn't you, bloke? Like we haven't done that. Like Seattle and all of its fans, like we are owed when it comes to baseball success. But hey, this year just wasn't meant to be that. So personally, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch the World Series. It's going to hurt too much. Last year I did, but I didn't care like this. Like I really felt like this was ours to go to. We're in the driver's seat. And we're pro player here. Like there's no point being angry. Nobody went out there, wanting to lose. And what really broke my heart was that video where Brian Wu was getting interviewed, and I know who screamed in the background. I mean, we all do. And like big hit, home run. Julio was great. I mean, he was big. Like people want to have a crack at the bloke all the time for for not coming up big. He came up big. Like, you can't judge a bloke on his last swing in the ninth inning. Like, look at all the blokes we left on base. Look at all the missed opportunities we had elsewhere. Like, again, same as with Edward Bizzardo. Like, Julio, mate, I love you. You know, sing out, like, if you need anything. Like, it's all love. Like, yeah, my daughter loves you. She loves the relationship that we're able to have. That just, you're a great person. Like, it's no one's blaming you for that. Like, do we wish you had hit a home run? Like, of course we do. Everyone does. But, you know, failure is going to make you stronger. So while a lot of this show has been venting for me, it's a way for me to say to you that if you feel the same way as a Mariners fan, it's okay, because for us, it's not just a game and it's not just a team. It's so much more. And I understand what you're feeling, even if nobody else in your office will. So where to from here, you ask? Well, for the Mariners, everything just needs to be about extending Josh Naylor, just ASAP, and working on what we can do to lock up some of our other existing talent. That would require an off-season plan episode, one which I'm not quite ready for right now. I need to do a lot more healing and just digest this season first. And there are some other great podcasts out there. Like, if you haven't heard of Raise the Trident with Jake, Jake is like the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. If you were ever cold, he would literally give you the shirt off his back. Like, he would do a great one. I'll get to one eventually, but just now is not quite the right time. For the podcast of where we go from here in the off-season, first off, I want to really genuinely thank everybody who has listened and shown support. And I know every podcast says that, and I know they're empty words from most people. But when I started this, I just wanted something to do to get my Mariners thoughts out of here without annoying everybody around me, because no one here in Australia cares about baseball. I remember ordering a $50 microphone off eBay, and I set up a little studio in the office in the room that I had at the time. And I remember calling in a favour with a player that I sponsored here in the Australian League and asking them to be my first guest. And then I need to shout out the first Mariners guest in Brock Moore. He gave me the in. He's been a really good friend of mine ever since. Our branding, our merchandise, our name, it's known and it's being worn throughout the entire organisation, from the big league club members to every level of the minor leagues to the boys in Arizona. The players know it's all positive here. The players know that, you know, I'm going to look after them. And then when our Instagram got taken down and we copped a permanent ban, which they still can't give me a reason on, I genuinely thought that that might stop this thing. But over 8,000 YouTube subscribers later, it's shown me that this is just the beginning. This is now one of the largest Mariners podcasts, and I owe it to all of you. So by subscribing, by liking, by following, you are helping me reach my goals, and you're showing me that this content and these down-to-earth and exclusive interviews with players, this is wanted and this is needed. And I'm going to keep giving back. So, as you know, we had that signed and authenticated Julio Rodriguez jersey from Fanatics up for grabs. Now that the ALCS is over, you know, I'm thrilled, even though I don't sound thrilled because I'm just digesting all of this, but I am thrilled to announce our winner. But before I do that, I do have another competition, which is for a signed Logan Gilbert jersey. Excuse the rustling of the bag, but you can see the signature there on the big six. Comes with a COA as well. When we hit 12,000 subscribers, I'll give that one away too. So don't go anywhere. And I wanted you to know that first, because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I didn't win it. I'll go. No, we got more stuff. We're going to look after you. But the winner of the signed and authenticated Julio Rodriguez jersey came from our TikTok page, and that's TikTok user. I'm going to have to read my screen here. Mr. McChondon5. It's a great username. I'll rate that big time. So, mate, if you're listening, maybe reply to my DM and let's get that signed and authenticated Julio jersey to you. I did get a message from Tyson, who was the winner of our first signed jersey giveaway. He's arrived this week. Tyson lives in the kind of Seattle-ish area. So it was great to be able to add that to the collection of a local bloke. So as I said, that signed Logan Gilbert jersey is up for grabs now. We're going to continue with the episodes. I'll be doing a full rundown of the Mariners minor league system and all our prospects and the year that was for all of them. I'll do a recap of the big league squad and there will be an off-season plan. It's just that the frequency of those episodes, that might stretch out a little bit as well. It's been a Postseason was nuts. It's spring here. My businesses are going off the chain. My daughter and I are just getting out and doing stuff all the time, and then trying to get these out before the next series. It was putting me under the pump. So, we'll see how we go, but we're absolutely going to get a heap of episodes out. So up now, however, let's move into some happier stuff. This is an interview with one of the best people you're going to meet in baseball. This bloke hit for the cycle this season in the Mariners farm system. He is one hell of a player with one hell of a story. So let's get a little bit happier. Let's get some good vibes going. Let's get into it. Today's guest is the epitome of hard work and perseverance. Working hard at every level, he's turned himself into both a fan and clubhouse favourite and joined our organisation in 2022 as our 19th round selection. You may know him as the bloke who recently hit for the cycle, but I know him as the catcher who framed my atrocious first pitch into something presentable. Curtis Washington Jr., welcome, mate. Thanks so much for coming on.
Man, thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you were born down in Tennessee. Can you talk to me about like the baseball scene down there and what's your first memory of the sport? Because I drove through Tennessee. I didn't see a baseball field, but I saw lots of football fields. So what's that whole scene look like?
Okay. So I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, but I was actually born or raised across the bridge in Arkansas, in West Memphis, Arkansas. So you have West Memphis, Arkansas, and then you have Memphis, Tennessee, and it's right across the Mississippi River border of the states. So my first memory playing baseball was really hitting off or playing T-ball in West Memphis. And it was like in a backyard baseball type deal. And we just go out there, it'd be right across the train tracks. We have trains going across the tracks all day, be loud. But from my perspective, I was just out there having fun, just being a kid. And just growing up, I started just playing more and more and starting to get the feel of the game. And I think that helped me grow as a baseball player, just knowing the game, the fundamentals, watching professionals on TV. That's how I grasped the game of baseball and the competitiveness. I've always been competitive, even since I started playing baseball. But that's the biggest part of baseball across the bridge in Memphis, Tennessee. That's a different world because that's where, you got the travel ball organizations that travel to different states playing in different tournaments every weekend. And that's when I started playing travel ball. I think I was 7 years old with the Memphis Tigers. And that's when I started playing kid pitch ball. And that's when we started really seeing that we could actually play this game of baseball, even though I may be an African-American in this game, predominantly white sport, but hey, we can do it too. We can do it too, but you have to put in the work to get better.
So you found baseball, you've been bloody successful at it, and the story is only just starting of where you can go and what you can do. But your old man played basketball at the college level, I think, and from what I read, you're a bit of a hooper as well, and your Instagram story this morning might tell me you may have been in the gym getting in some work as well. So did the old man push basketball on you, or was your family environment one of those that was like, you know what, whatever sport you fall in love with, that's fine. You just do you and you just be happy.
Absolutely, man. My dad, he played college basketball at Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas. And he also played football. He ran track. And for me, he didn't play baseball. It was just starting at a young age. He put me in soccer, played t-ball, basketball, and football. And like you said, it was just really just the whatever comes naturally or whatever takes me the furthest. That's what we're gonna do. Now, for me, dreams wise, as a young athlete, my favorite sport was basketball. I wanted to become a basketball NBA star or whatever. But God had other plans. So but we kept playing baseball, kept playing basketball and football all the way up until 8th grade. And my last year of basketball was my senior year of high school. And baseball was the only sport that gave me a path to continue to play at the next level. And baseball, I love the game of baseball. I love the game of basketball. I love football, but like just playing different sports kept me active, kept me in a competitive mind state, kept me busy, and look where we are now.
I think there's 6 years between us, but we have these generations in sport. Like baseball right now, we're in that sort of Otani, Judge, Cal Raleigh era, which makes me so happy to say that, having a Seattle guy in there. And basketball's kind of been the same too. You've gone through different eras. So I'm trying to think when I was at that age, like it was Allen Iverson, it was KG, it was Tim Duncan, Jay Kidd, like and then baseball's only sort of a last 5 years thing for me. So I don't have childhood memories, but who were some of those sports stars that when you go, I want to be an NBA star, I want to be an MLB star, who were some of the players that you looked at and you were like, no, I want to dress like him. I want to play like him. Like we all wanted the Kobe shot, right? Like we all wanted that little shimmy shake sort of thing. Who were your guys?
So basketball growing up, Kobe was my main guy. Kobe Bryant was my main guy that I wanted to just imitate the way I attack, like not attack, but like the way I attack each day, how I attack my workouts, just the mentality. He always says Mamba mentality. Like that's what I wanted to go by as a young athlete. And baseball, Chipper Jones was my favorite player growing up. So I grew up an Atlanta Braves fan and started watching them on TV. And I saw Chipper Jones, how he would bat from the left side and then switch over to the right. I'm like, man, this guy's batting both ways. I wanna be just like him. And then he's playing third base. So it's like that's who I imitated my game off of and like wanted to be like from those two sports. And then of course football, I'm a Cowboys fan. Not really. I grew up watching Tony Romo as our quarterback. And when I played football, I was a quarterback too as well. And so I wore number 9. Tony Romo was number 9. So he was my favorite player to watch on the football field as well.
I saw the Cowboys are talking about Max Crosby. They've reached out. There's some feelers. I mean, could you imagine if you had someone like Micah Parsons, someone like that? How good would that be? Tell you what a mess of a franchise, man. But we don't want to get too sad.
I don't
See,
even want to talk about it, man. Cowboys
so
Nation, bro.
you're a 4-year starting centre fielder at West Memphis. You bat a combined 420 over your junior and senior seasons. You slug 942. It's a 1.504 OPS as a senior. Like you are a clear standout player, mate. First of all, when did colleges start to come calling for you? And I had Anthony D'Onofrio on last week, and he spoke to me about, his family, right, weren't necessarily in a position to send him on their own. Like they're very, very humble, just great guy, great family. And he spoke to me about what college and college sports did for him. What was that like for you? Was it a situation where you were able to maybe go and do some stuff through sports that you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise? And yeah, at what stage did you start getting these letters and you're going, oh yeah, right, like I can do this?
Man, crazy you say that. Like what point of my career, like before college, did college coaches start reaching out to me? Um, all the way up until my senior year, like from 9th to 12th grade, I was really doing the reaching out to coaches, college coaches, and seeing if they could give me interest. But when they would respond to me, it would be like them inviting me to come to one of their camp clinics, or it wasn't really them trying to come see or want me to come see them. It was just me like, hey, I'm trying to get out there and get exposure as much as I can. And that's what I was getting from them. So with that being said, like all the way up until my senior year, the last game of my senior season in baseball, I had no offers or in basketball, baseball, nothing. But that was the first year we made it to the state tournament. We lost the first game, but CWJ, he did not give up. He's a competitor. and he gave it everything he had because he knew that this could be the last, or could possibly be the last game that he ever played in on a baseball field. So if this was going to be his last moment, he was going to give it his all, and we did. We gave it all. We're 2 for 3. There was actually a scout that saw me play there, and his name was Brian Walker, and he saw me play, and he played at the University of Arkansas. And that is the day that I started to get like recognition from college coaches and like, hey, we want you to come on this visit. And I started playing summer ball after that game that summer. And then other college coaches started hearing about what I was doing or who I was talking to, and now they're trying to get in and da da da. But we made the right decision, and that's when the college coaches started to knock on my door. It was after my last career or last high school baseball game.
Sports are very different here. Like you don't, I mean, it's a little bit different at the fancy pants colleges down in the city, but out here in the country, like you don't play sport for your school. You play for a club. And even with us, like you get drafted at 18 into professional football here. And then that's kind of it. And the rest of us, like we play sport on the weekends, and you get a little envelope with some money in it at the end of it. And, you know, might be anywhere from $100 to $1,500. And that's sort of how we go. So when people have this school pride and school spirit in America, I'm like, man, I hate school. Like, yeah, they made me do math. Like, I don't want to do anything because we didn't play sports. We didn't know what it was like to fight for our school's name and whatnot. So in 2018, you lead West Memphis to the state baseball tournament, and that's your school's first trip since 2010. So how seriously did you take playing for your school, and what does that kind of accolade mean to you and the wider school community? Like that's 8 years since a playoff berth. You know, that's got to be pretty exciting for people.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Playing sports for my high school. You talking about high school, right? Like,
Yeah, high school. Yeah.
yeah. So that's our high school was basically there's 2 high schools in our city: West Memphis Christian High School and then West Memphis High School. But mostly everybody that lived in West Memphis went to the high school, West Memphis High School. That's where I went. And that was playing basketball, football, any sport in my eyes would be like, this is playing for our city. Like, we're trying to put West Memphis on the map. We're trying to make a name for this city, and we're trying to make sure that we continue the legacy of names that have come through and succeeded playing basketball, football, or baseball, soccer, whatever. And playing basketball for my school, like I said, that was my favorite sport growing up. And my senior year, we lost in the state championship last game. So that was my last ever basketball game that I ever played in my life. And that's probably the only last game I'll ever play. But to answer your question, like, that means everything to me. That means everything. Wearing West Memphis across my chest as much as I can, even to this day, I'm going to make sure West Memphis, not Memphis, West Memphis, Arkansas. Absolutely.
So college is a bit here and there. First, it's the University of Arkansas. Then it's a season of JUCO ball. Then it's Purdue. And as I mentioned, your dad was a college athlete, and your mum, you've had her listed in a lot of places that she was also such, and has like just that support in your life that you've gone to. So how important was their advice in all of these decisions and all of these changes? And did you go to them? Did you speak to them? Did you seek their counsel? And can you walk me through each of those steps and why you made those choices at every turn?
Man, my parents, that's the reason why I am who I am today. They've made so many sacrifices to get me to where I am today. And seeing how they work together, just to show that their support, they're here for me whatever I need. Like that motivates me more than ever to continue to do the right things and continue to chase my dreams. Because we've been in times where we didn't think we were going to be able to make a baseball trip when I was playing travel ball, but they found a way to help me get out there and have fun and continue to do what I love and play. And I'll never forget those moments, and I carry those with me to this day. And I want to make sure that I continue to give back to my family. And that's doing the right thing and keeping God first and doing everything that I need to do to continue to, what's the word I'm looking for? Progress in my career, continue to extend.
2022, you're a junior. You start all 50 games in centre field. You shatter the record books. You're the first bloke to steal 30 bags for the school since 1991 at Purdue, which is even before I was born. So I know that was a long time ago. You lead the entire Big Ten in steals. You reach base in 47 of your 50 games. Like, mate, again, off the chain. But at what point, and I asked you this about colleges and when colleges started to come and when you realized college could be an opportunity for you, like when during that season in 2022, like when did you realize, oh, okay, like maybe MLB baseball is on the cards? When did that light bulb click for you?
It clicked in for me at Arkansas. Like that's when I figured or I kind of had an idea that I could actually play this at the next level. Like if somebody was able to or to give me an opportunity to play professionally, like I could definitely do it. And Purdue, when I got to Purdue, that was like my first time at not at a Division I school, but like being that everyday starter in the position that I wanted to play, being in the top of the lineup, like playing every game. Like that was my dream from high school going into college. Like that's what I wanted to do in college, playing at that level. At a Big Five, Power Five school, Big Ten, Purdue University. And I just knew I had to play my game and showcase that I can do this on a consistent basis every day and be CWJ. And that is what I did. Took every game, every day, every practice, didn't miss a beat, didn't take any days off. And we were out there doing what we do. And somebody saw us, somebody kept their eyes on us, and they wanted to know what CWJ was about. And they took a chance on them, and we haven't looked back since.
So it's the 19th round, 2022 MLB draft, and you're the first ever African-American player from West Memphis to be drafted to the MLB. So it's a proud day for the Washington family. It's a proud day for your community. It's a proud day for everybody that's known you. Can you talk me through, firstly, what your memories of that draft day was, what it was like with your family celebrating, and then can you also speak to me about what it means to you to be somebody who is out there actually physically breaking down barriers and being living proof to the next generation that, you know, anything's possible. Like hard work, doesn't matter who you are, hard work can get you rewards.
Absolutely. That's the main thing. Hard work is definitely what's going to take you or give you the best opportunity to go out there and, succeed and put eyes on you outside of that. Now, the day that I got drafted, it was the third day, obviously, the 19th round, 19th out of 20 rounds. And going into that day, I was telling my parents, it was me, my mom, and my dad. We were all together. And I was like, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what to expect. Like 2 days have gone by, nothing, no updates, no anything. But we still had the faith and we knew that there was still a chance. But I knew that if somebody was to call my phone, whether that was just a walk or not walk on, but free agent sign, like you said, 19th, 20th round, whatever opportunity that I could get to make it to the next level, that's what I was going to take. And I was going to bet on myself to continue to go. And when the 18th round came around, my agent takes my phone and he told me that he gave me a heads up that the Seattle Mariners was going to take me in the 19th round. And I just, like, here we go. I didn't say anything to my dad or my mom because we were listening to the radio, like the broadcast or whatever, because it wasn't televised. It was, you had to listen. Lo and behold, the 19th round came around. They said with the so-and-so pick in the 19th round, the Seattle Mariners select Curtis Washington Jr. out of Purdue University. And all the screams just went in the air, the emotions, tears of joy. It just finally happened. And just to hear my name called, that was like a dream come true. And like I said before, man, we just continue to take it day by day, and we haven't looked back since, brother.
So we've met, we've shook hands. It's clear I'm very Australian, so my knowledge of America is not something that I'm ever going to pretend that I have. I lived there for a while in the Pacific Northwest. I I understand, in my opinion, Denny's is the greatest food you can ever have. Like, take me to a Denny's and I'm yours. Don't ask me why. It's how we roll. Denny's and Olive Garden, man. And
Oh,
Walmart. Like,
oh,
Walmart's like Christmas. But
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
there's so much to the country. There's so much that goes on. So I want to ask you to speak on something about barriers. So, what barriers did you face growing up, and what barriers do other young African American men have that come from where you come from? What are the things that they face, and what are some of the extra hurdles that they may have to overcome to get an opportunity just to play college sports or just have this pro sports journey that you're on now?
I would say the biggest like bump in the road that young African Americans face nowadays, especially like where I come from, I would say is they get caught up of thinking about what other people are thinking about them. Whether that's, oh, they need to be looking a certain way just because of the color of their skin, or they're from this area, so they're supposed to act like this. We're supposed to act like this. Like, no, that's not the case. Everybody's their own person. We do come from the same area, but it's the mindset, is how you carry yourself each and every day. It's what you do on a day-to-day basis that describes the person that you are. And I can say that the younger generation, especially where I'm from, they look up to, guys that I don't know, nowadays hip hop rap is big nowadays. Of course, you got the basketball on TV, football. You don't really see a lot of African Americans playing baseball. So I feel like I said, younger generation here, African Americans, or not just here, just all around, they usually have dreams or aspirations of being those that in such a small area, if that makes sense. Like, we put limits on ourselves just because of the color of our skin. And that's what I don't agree with. Like, we can be doctors, we could be lawyers, we could be whatever we want to be. It's a free country. So I would say that's the biggest thing for African Americans, is just knowing that you can be whatever you want to be in life if you just put the hard work in and continue to put God first and do the right things, and you will go a long ways in life.
I think as well, it's about having role models that at the end of the day look like you. You know, like you've got, is it a coincidence now that we have such a large contingent of amazing Japanese players? Because if you go back, their childhood was when Ichiro was there. So you've got that. You have that person to look up to. So this weekend, I'm taking my daughter to a women's basketball game. Mackenzie Holmes, who plays for the Seattle Storm, she's here in Australia playing in the off season. My 3.5-year-old's got a little Mackenzie Holmes jersey. We're going to watch her because it's very important for me to have my daughter see that women can do anything. If you want to play, the only thing is she wants to be Julio, and I think that no one can be Julio, right? Like Gold Glove center field, like we can aim high, but that might be a mountaintop. But for you as well, representing to your community that, like, I'm here, I've done this, I can help you. And it comes back to your baseball camps, mate, the Gotta Believe youth baseball camps. So, like I said, I'm a dad. It's a key pillar of mine to instill belonging and belief in my daughter of helping others. So, your parents have got to be really proud of you for putting these camps on and providing opportunities. Can you talk to me about the camps? Like, where did this start? Where did you come up with the idea? And what it's more than baseball. I know it's more than baseball. So talk to me about, just everything that goes into these camps and what you hope to help young people to achieve through them.
Yeah, so the idea of me putting the camp on, the Gotta Believe camp, here in my hometown, it came from like reminiscing about times where I was their age, like going to high school or junior high, elementary school, and we didn't really have anything like this in the city of West Memphis. If we wanted to go to a baseball camp or baseball clinics or learn more about the game of baseball, we would have to, like I said, go across the bridge to Memphis, Tennessee, which some people or young athletes here in West Memphis don't really have time and energy or money to travel like that. So I wanted to make sure that, or start something here in West Memphis, Arkansas, for the younger generation, the younger kids, to come out baseball field. We just got a new high school baseball field right here in West Memphis, Arkansas, and that's where we just had our first camp on their field for the first time this year. But yeah, man, it was just not a random idea, but it was something that I thought we could start. And first year went really well, so we're like, all right, we're gonna do it again. This year went well, so all right, we're just gonna keep going, and hopefully down the road, instead of just doing one day, we'll make it 2 days or make it a whole week. Just continue to grow the game of baseball here in West Memphis.
You've been drafted back in 2022. You're now a Seattle Mariner, greatest feeling in the world, and you're off to Arizona to start your pro career. Can you walk me through what you remember about those first couple of months? So, because you're going from a big college program, but you're going into professional baseball. Like, what were some of the things that stood out? Was it suddenly having a chef 24/7? Was it seeing some of those big name rehab guys down there? Like, what do you remember your first recollections and memories are of walking into Arizona?
So that was definitely I would have a change for me. I knew that I was gonna be myself, and I knew I was gonna, you know, continue to grind and put work in, especially at that level. But going in, like you said, seeing the rehab guys, the big names, having chefs cook for me every day. We're eating, we're in the training room. We got like 10 to 11 plus 20 trainers or whatever. Like that was just like a wow moment. But we're all here for a reason. And that's what I really had to grasp a hold of really quick, because anytime you can slip up, you can be out of there just like that. It's a business. It's still a business. You have to be on your P's and Q's to be able to continue to play in that profession. So I would say we got we got our feet wet pretty quick when we got to spring training, and then once we broke spring training and then got into the affiliates, and it was just the game of baseball. That's all. That's
So
it.
2023, 2024, they're spending Modesto. You hit 218 and 225. And then this season, mate, like we have a saying here that you come out quicker than a cat on a hot tin roof. It just means that you've come bolting. So you smack the ball around for what seems like shits and giggles. It's a 308 average. You've got 61 hits in 55 games, but you're walking as well. You're hitting doubles. The world's your oyster. It was very clear that you had put in some serious work over the break. So can you tell me, like, what did you do? Because, yeah, that's a huge jump, 225 to 308. But like I said, it's the walks, it's the doubles. Give me the secret. What have we done?
It's basically me becoming a professional hitter. That's what it comes down to. Because in the past, I used to make adjustments in my stance, wouldn't feel right, so I would put my hands higher, lower, or whatever. Man, this season I went into this season saying, all right, we feel comfortable right here. We know what we need to do as a hitter to become successful, to help the team win ball games. And that's what I took to the plate each at bat. And that's it. And I was like, on time for the fastball, on time for the fastball. That's it. Don't worry about nothing else. You'll see, recognize different pitches out of the hand, and we react. But that was the biggest thing for me. I would just be relaxed, calm, ready, 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 boom. It's nothing really mentality wise that changed. It was just the confidence was there better. The the consistency was there going into I'm talking about from the time I come to the field until it's time to put the jerseys on, the pants on, the cleats, and we out there on the line getting ready for, or 6:05, 7:05, whatever. That's what it came down to, and being more consistent with our work process.
Not a bad day at the office for you, mate. 5 for 6, hit for the cycle, and you chip away. It's a home run to begin, then it's a triple, so the two hardest ones are out of the way, and then the opposition fielders have this mix-up where you score a pop-up double, so all there's left is the single, the easiest of all of them. What were your thoughts? Were you aware, like you have to have been aware of the cycle at that time? Did you specifically try and hit for the single, or like was that the hardest single you've ever hit in your life? Like, can you just walk me, because people don't hit for the cycle. Like what happened?
So like you said, when I hit the home run and the triple, I would immediately thought, because the day before I did the kind of the same thing. I hit a triple and a double, and I was like, oh, I'm only a home run and a single away, but that didn't happen. So the next day, I'm like, the first at bat, a home run, then a triple. Now I'm like, okay, I'm having a good day so far, but the cycle is still like not in my mind. Then the third at bat comes around, and I get the give me over double. Like you see, it dropped in for a pop up that single, or I'm hustling out of the box and turn it into a hustle double. Now I'm like, I'm only a single away from the cycle. And even the shortstop that was on the other team even said, he was like, bro, you know you're a single away from the cycle. I'm like, yeah, bro, don't tell me, don't talk about it right now. I still got a game to win. So going into that single, that fourth at bat, I was like, I gotta do it. Like, I gotta find a way. And somebody asked me if I ever thought about bunting in that at bat. I thought about it, but I was like, that's not how I would want to get the cycle if that was going to be the case. So I was like, well, I got to do it. I'm swinging the bat. I'm seeing the ball good. Get a good pitch to hit. Don't try to do too much, and just put a good swing, get some contact, and run like you always ran before. And we got a good pitch to handle, and not luckily, but we got it to the right side of the field. Usually the infield shifts me over to the left side towards the 6 hole instead of the 4. And it was a huge hole, and it got through. The cycle had been a thing. So that was definitely a day that I'll never forget. That was a great day.
I feel like you would always do the team thing, and I feel like you'll tell me you'll do the team thing. But I'm just imagining if you hit one of those ones that get rattles around the corner and you're like, oh, could I triple? I kind of feel like that's a moment where the hamstring gets tight and you can only just get a single. And you just gotta save myself out there, because that was insane. I gotta ask you, where is the stuff? Like, where's the bat that you hit for the cycle? And where are the balls? Like, were you able to give them to family? Were you able to get them back? Like, where is this stuff?
If I was to get up right now and walk straight across the hall in that room, I have the ball, or the ball, that the single that I hit for the cycle. I have the bat in my bat bag, and then there was a fan that had a game ticket, from that game, and he gave it to me after the game. So I have all three of those here at home with us that will never leave, never give away. It's here. It's ours. Absolutely.
Is that like, I've started to think about very sentimental things and things that mean value to me. Is that a pass on through the generations to your kids and whatnot? Or is that, that's mine, that's going in the coffin with me? Which level does that sit on? Because I'd be taking it. Just saying.
I think what I'm gonna do with it is, like, I'm a or blow up like a frame of a picture of when they announced that I hit for the cycle, the stats for the stat line for that game. I'm gonna have it framed up in a picture, and I'm gonna have the bat put in with that, all the accessories, the bat, the ball, and the ticket, all of it together. And I'm just gonna hang it up on a wall or do whatever with it. But like you said, I'm not giving it away. Of course, I'm gonna let my younger kids see it, my the generations to come. But that's something that I will keep forever, forever. Absolutely.
So I did mention in the opener, you're a hard worker, you're self-made, you're humble, and you're on this quiet grind, but you've got this assured confidence within yourself. After you hit for the cycle, did you notice people starting to take more attention of you? And were you kind of like, well, hey, like, I've been here the whole time?
Yeah, I would say that, but like, I didn't really want to pay attention to the attention that I was starting to get. Because like you said, I've been here the whole time, but it's just certain moments in the past that I had to go through to get to this point, and like to have the opportunities to even hit for the cycle. Because my first year was rough, second year was better, but it was still kind of rough. And like this year, I feel like I emerged myself as a player in the organization with the respect of my work ethic, who I am as a person, a teammate, just all those intangibles that come with CWJ helped me with the opportunities to get to hit for the cycle or play every day and hit 308 and do all those kinds of things that went on this season. Got my first promotion and stuff like that. So that's all that what went with it.
So
Absolutely.
I do want to talk about that promotion. So you saved me because we obviously met in Everett, and I've said it to the last couple of guests. Like, I got on a bad run. Like, when you're coming from overseas, you've got to plan that trip out, and in baseball, anything can happen. So at that time, Brock Moore, who I'm good friends with, he was on the IL. Stefan Wraith, promoted. Charlie Bielenson, promoted. Tyler Cleveland, promoted. And I've got the signed bat on the wall. Like, I'm a big Colt Emerson fan. Like, I like the guy. I've got so many questions for him. Promoted as well. I'm like, thank the good Lord that Curtis was promoted, because I was like, I love the big league club. I'm going to watch the big league club, but I love prospects. I love the journey of everybody. And that's why I started this podcast, because everyone has a story, right? So it's
Absolutely.
June. You're promoted to Everett. Can you talk to me about what that's like? You had been in Modesto for so long, and then all of a sudden, bang, you need to pack up and move. Did you already know some of the blokes in the Everett clubhouse? And or was that like a walking into a almost like a first day of school kind of sort of situation? And then how did you find the adjustment going from that sort of low A to high A standard of baseball?
So when the day I got promoted, it was the team, or in Everett, like the whole coaching staff, the previous 2 years of my professional career were in Modesto. So I was at least familiar with the coaching staff. And then, of course, some of the players that have been in Everett or was in Everett when I got there, I had played with in previous years as well. So uh, and honestly, it was like the newer team was the team that I was playing with in Modesto. So that was like the team that I really had to get comfortable with playing at the beginning, but we all clicked real quick. And then once I got to Everett, it was just like, all right, I know this team, I know who everybody is, kind of, and I know what to expect from that perspective. And then, like when I got to Everett, it was kind of an adjustment to where I know where the locker room is all the way up until the field. That's the only thing I had to get used to, was that hike of a
Yep.
walk to get from point A to point B. But other than that, once the game, once 6:05, 7:05, whatever, once they said play ball, national anthem, it's the same game of baseball, brother. It's the same game.
So there is yourself, there's Ty Pete, there's Johnny Farmallow, there's Ryan Sloan, and then there's Ryan Hawks as well, who I reckon is probably the most criminally underrated pitcher within our system. Like, the guy's just a jet. So they're the players that are in Everett or were on the Everett roster to finish the last year that I'm really high on. So if I can take them out and yourself, because obviously you've got that proven track record and you're not a hidden gem anymore. Like, everyone knows who you are. When I had Charlie Bielenson, I was like, yeah, I've still got to get Curtis. I was like, oh man, Curtis is the man. I was like, yeah, he is. So if I can ask you to take all of those big names out, can you give me one bat and one arm that finished the year with you in Everett that you think people aren't paying enough attention to? Who's underrated right now within that Everett sort of system that was your teammate?
It's okay. One bat. Let's start off with the bat. One bat that is underrated. Anthony D'Onofrio. Anthony D'Onofrio. Anthony D'Onofrio. He is, I believe, in my opinion, is the most underrated hitter that was on the Everett Aqua Sox team, because he when I came up there, I don't think he was playing every day before I got there, but when I got there, I started seeing, man, he was hitting balls all over the field, and I was like, hey, that's Anthony D'Onofrio. But I don't think he was getting, like you said, I don't think he was getting like the exposure or like the attention that what I was seeing deserves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're such a good team. Like, we have so many good pieces. Like, it's gonna be like that sometimes for some guys. And Anthony D'Onofrio, in my opinion, would be the underrated hitter on the team in Everett. Now, as far as the arm, let me think. Hold on. Let me think. 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 Uh, because I don't really know what the the ranking. I don't know what rankings are in the PO or the pitcher staff. Like, I just know who pitches and I know who goes out there. So I'm just gonna say I was most excited to watch Evan Truitt pitch because if I remember correctly, he wasn't really a starter when he first came into professional ball. He came out of the bullpen. And when I watched him this year, he was, for the most part, a starter, if I can remember. I know he was a starter at the end of the season, but I don't know what he did starting the year off. But watching him start and go out there each inning and do what he does, like compete. And he showed up big time for us in the championship series against Eugene. And that was, I would say, Evan Truitt would be the most underrated pitcher in my opinion.
Yeah, he was
Absolutely.
fun to watch pitch, especially in that championship series. Like I was at work, I had the laptop set up, I was split screening it. We had the big league club, we had the Aqua Sox sitting there. Not much work was getting done that day. That's just the that's just the honest truth of it. So
Mm.
when we're not in baseball mode, mate, when you're not at the facility, when you're not putting in work, like who are you? What do you like to do? How do you like to relax? How do you like to spend your time?
Man, I'm gonna either be working out, I'm gonna either be playing basketball, or I'm gonna be playing the game, or I'm gonna be reading a book, or eating, or being spending time with family and friends. Like later on, tonight is the season opener for the Memphis Grizzlies, and they have a game, and we're going to the game with some of my hometown friends here in West Memphis. So that's stuff that I like to do is just spend time with friends, family, and enjoy some me time. Enjoy me time and take care of this right here, my mental. And that's how I do it.
So what do you do on the mental side? I mean, you've hit for the cycle and you've had, an incredible last year, but we know success is hitting a ball 3 out of 10 times. And batting is a tough game. So what do you do to keep your mental state really strong? Do you engage with a sports psychologist? Do you just escape out to nature and get some fresh air? Like when things aren't going well, how do you keep the vibes high within yourself?
That I would say I would escape out to nature to get some fresh air, and then I would definitely just relax or talk to my mom, my dad. They always have some words of wisdom for me. My grandmother, like just they don't. I don't think they do realize, but I don't think they realize how much I appreciate them, of how they've been there for me throughout my whole career ever since I was young, came out of the womb. They just always been there, and that's my like in my sanity. That's where I go to stay sane. If I'm struggling on the baseball field, or if something off the field is bothering me, like that's who I go to talk to, or like go out into nature, get some breath there. I like to breathe, just work on my breathing and all. Once I'm done with that, it's back to reality. We go to work.
A final question before we get into our last two, which we give to every guest, and you've kind of touched on it then, but who are some people that have helped you along the way that you want to give some credit to, that you think if you look back and you go, if I didn't have you in my corner, I'm not sure I would have been so strong or so successful? Who have been those people for you that you really want to sort of shout out and just go, hey, like, I appreciate you?
Outside of my family, outside of my mom, my dad, my grandmother, and other family members, I would definitely say my high school basketball coach, Marcus Brown. He taught me he taught all of us at that age, like how to continue to just stick to what we believe in as a team, as a person. Um, he was always there for me if I needed him. I would say all of my college coaches from Arkansas, Wabash Valley, and Purdue University. And then of course you have the whole staff with the Mariners organization, that they are always open ears. They're always there for you if you need them, have any questions. Like I've always had the resources that I needed to make sure that I'm staying on the right path, or I'm headed in the right direction that I need to go, or that I'm doing the right things to continue to go where I want to go.
To finish up, we have the same two questions for every guest every week. So the first one is, you're having a hypothetical dinner party and you can invite 4 people. Now, 2 of those people need to be current Mariners players, and the other 2 can be 2 people from anywhere in your life. They can be fictional people, historical people, they can be family. Who are the 4 people that are coming to your dinner party?
The 4 people coming to my dinner party. All right, we got from the 2 guys from the Mariners organization, or like the Mariners, the big league team, right? Or just
Preferably the big league team. Yeah.
okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring Julio. I'm gonna bring Julio Rodriguez, and I'm gonna bring. Let's see. I'm gonna bring Cal Raleigh. Got to bring the big dumper. Then you got. I'm gonna bring. Let's see. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is invited to the cookout, and we got. Let's see. I'm thinking hard on this one. Cause it's the last seat in the house. This is the last
It's a big
seat.
spot, man. It's a big spot.
I gotta make sure. Hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to think of any professional women that could come to the cookout too, because I don't want to leave the women out of it. I'm gonna go. And you know who Candace Parker is? Candace
I
Parker.
don't know who Candace Parker is. Married to
Come on.
Duke legend Sheldon Williams. Like, yeah, I know who Candace Parker is. Yeah, Candace is a legend.
Absolutely. So that's my lineup: Julio, Cal Riley, Stephen Curry, Candace Parker. All athletes.
Candace Parker is one of those players with Maya Moore who I kind of are like, what ifs? You know, like how women's basketball has exploded. I'm kind of like, how big would have you been in this game today? Like, Maya Moore leaves to go and study law to help people. Like, but you were at the top of your game. Like, what a selfless thing. I think about her career and I'm just like, man, like what? Yeah, what an incredible athlete. Because we have Lauren Jackson, who is a perennial MVP that came from Australia. And sometimes I just think about people in the sport. I think about Babe Ruth a lot. Like, would Babe Ruth be Babe Ruth in today's game? What's Babe Ruth doing against Paul Skeens? This is what keeps me up at night. It gets messy up there. So, our final question, and this just helps keep us going, but who should we have on the podcast as a guest? Who would you recommend? But I'll put the caveat on, whatever name you say, you've got to help us get the interview. So some guys send through numbers, some guys just pester. Like I know Charlie pestered Ryan Sloan to get him on. Who's your recommendation? Who can you help us get on?
I could definitely give you a word and get Colin Davis on the next podcast. Get Colin Davis on the next podcast, or teammate this year and roommate this year as well. So that won't be a problem of reaching out to him and see if he can get on this podcast with you, brother.
Mate, that would be incredible. I had somebody who I know that comes and takes photos for the Aqua Sox. She was telling me a story about Colin and how he helped her out last minute preparing a glove for her son for a game. Like just a good guy, like just a good solid dude. So, mate,
Really?
I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being who you are, everything that you bring to the organization. You're great with the fans. You're great with the media. You're a great teammate. Everything you're doing is just, spectacular. I'm coming to spring training. I've still got to book everything in, but I'm coming. I can't wait to hang out. Like I just want to appreciate you and thank you for everything and wish you the absolute best of luck with your career moving forward.
I appreciate you, Nate. I appreciate you for having me on this podcast. It was a great time. Like you said, I would reach out to Colin Davis, make sure that he gets on this podcast too. I don't want him to miss out. And man, I look forward to seeing you in spring training, brother.
So a big thanks again to Curtis for his time. He is a bloody legend. And thank you to all of you for your support and helping this show and this platform explode into what it is now. So one last reminder, we have that signed Logan Gilbert jersey up for grabs. We're going to give it away at 12,000 subscribers. Honestly, we're only 4,000 away. It won't take us long to get there at all. We're going to be keeping the episodes going as much as we can over the off season. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's been a season, but hey, we're going to smile. And as always, stay safe, stay well, and go Mariners.